roll call, please.
Councillor Chartrand?
Here.
Councillor McKay?
Here.
Mayor Reid?
Here.
And Councillor Villeneuve had sent his regrets. He says he might make it in time, but
I'd ask Councillor McKay if she would recite the municipal mission and vision statements, please.
HCM mission, at your service, working effectively to bring together people, partnerships, and potential for a strong, connected community. HCM vision, providing a healthy, connected, and sustainable community teeming with possibilities for our citizens now and into the future.
Thank you. Disclosure of pecuniary interest, general nature thereof. Presentations unfortunately Joe Hall from the Blue Box program can't make it here. So we'll go directly into candidates for council appointment. So the following individuals have signified in writing that they are legally qualified to hold office and consented to accept the office if they are appointed. To fill the council vacancy, be considered by council for appointment to fill such vacancy. Karen Leclerc, Pat McGurran, and excuse me if I mess the names up, and Nancy Rose. To offer each candidate the opportunity to address council, each council member may ask up to 2 questions of each candidate. Clerk to conduct the vote, announce the winner, and write the name into bylaw. Proceed with resolution. Mayor Reid, proceed to resolution to appointment. Mayor and clerk to sign bylaw. Clerk to conduct swearing in. Mayor to welcome appointee to council. Appointee may take a seat at the table and participate in the remainder of the meeting.
okay, so the first part will be to offer the opportunity to each candidate to speak, and the order is to be chosen by lot. So I have cards with each name. We'll pull their names and write the number in order, and that's the way they'll address council. So I have Pat, Nancy, and Karen. First speaker is Nancy. Second is Karen. And Pat will be third. So Nancy, if you'd like to come and address council. Yeah, you can read your questions, and then each member will have the opportunity to ask a question of you if they choose. I have it, I think. Takes the questions. There, thank you. Yeah, you have yours.
I guess just the best way to start off is to go with the handout that council gave us and the questions that they asked. The first question was why I believe that I would be the best representative for Head Clara Mariah. And I believe so based on the following. I am a local girl raised right here in the valley. I went to school here and attended alongside many of our neighbors. I can relate to their lifestyles, concerns, and expectations. I'm familiar with the issues that can arise living in Northern Ontario. I'm an avid outdoor enthusiast, whether it be motorized or non. My husband and I enjoy our surroundings to the fullest. Having camped at Antler Kingfisher Lodge for many years and now living in Mackay, I look forward to serving the township from one end to the other. Council asked a question about the code of conduct. And my answer to this is not much of a stretch from my military days. One must always remain loyal to the unit, to your comrades, and to oneself. Being a councillor, one must serve with loyalty, no bias, to the township and to its constituents, putting your personal feelings on a shelf and doing what is in the best interest of all of our neighbors. To me, this means to always conduct oneself with dignity and honesty. A council member must have the utmost transparency. You must be capable of decision-making based on your own educated opinion and not be swayed by the opinions or motives of others. This must be obvious in all that we do. As a previous safety inspector for CNL, it's obvious that you will never make everyone happy. Unfortunately, this can be a most difficult task when having to make decisions that affect your friends and your neighbors. There will always be someone who will not agree with your decisions you have to make. Sometimes this is an excellent opportunity to educate people on the importance of getting involved in one's community. My past experience has shown me that when you do a good job, are honest and approachable, people will come to you and ask. They will know that you have never led them astray before, therefore must have a good reason for making an unpopular decision. And sometimes we just have to agree to disagree and hope that your decision will prove itself down the road. Being a council representative on volunteer committees will not be something new for me, as I am already actively involved in so many aspects of the community. From bartending, umpiring softball, serving meals, stocking fridges, and spearheading the annual Father's Weekend Fishing Derby. Being an active member in the community is key to enjoying our community. We live in one of the best parts of Canada, and we need to get out there and make use of all that we've been given. My short and long-term vision for the municipality are as follows. To get some resolution for the ongoing issues that have been plaguing this community for the past year or more. To assist in putting Head Clara Mariah back to being an esteemed and valued township in the Ottawa Valley. To maintain our cherished way of life in this small community. To help our neighbors enjoy and take advantage of the beauty that nature has bestowed upon us. To provide a council that our constituents can appreciate and trust in. A loyal, honest, and approachable council that can unite together for nothing other than the well-being of this amazing community.
Are there any questions for Nancy?
I have a couple.
Okay.
What do you feel is the role of counselor, or at least one part of being a counselor that you feel is important?
We're the voice of the people in our community. We have to bring any issues or any concerns forward to the mayor, to the county, so on and so forth. We're the first step and the most important step.
Okay, thank you. And what about our municipality makes you most proud to live here?
What doesn't make me proud to live here? We live in a beautiful area. There's amazing people here. Randy and I moved here and started building a home, and people came out of the woodwork. People we didn't even know came and gave us a hand for no other reason other than we're neighbors.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further? John?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you very much. Karen Clark, please. And I hope I'm getting your right name.
LeClaire.
Your name.
LeClaire.
Right, LeClaire, okay.
This one's probably lighter, but it's gonna work. Weird, but it'll work out.
I don't really know who to address here, whether it's
To address
just the council.
Yep, so even if you'd like to stand on that side as well.
Then
Just
we'll
watch
get
my
them.
cords.
Will this work still? No.
You need to be very close to it.
Okay. I was born and raised in this area, like closer to Deep River. I've always participated in all the things that have happened up in Stonecliff ball tournaments going back for many, many years. The reason that I'm running is I've always been involved in politics. I was a councillor for the town of Laurentian Hills for one term. Then I was elected as deputy reeve And while I was Reeve, Reeve became ill, and I was in as a short term, I think it was probably about 3 months as the acting Reeve. I ran a good race against Jim Hickey, but lost, and then I sort of faded out of politics altogether until I was appointed by the Premier of Ontario for the job of director on the board of the Algonquin Forestry Association. I was there for 12 years until family health problems, and I retired from that, and since then that's the last bit of politics I had. But like I said, that's the main reason I'm running, is I've always been interested in doing things for people. I've always been interested in fighting for the small guy. If you ever talk to anyone for the Algonquin Forestry, they would tell you I was always fighting for the truckers, the skidder operators, all the guys at the bottom of the food chain. It was a multi-million-dollar company, but I was more concerned with the truckers and the people that were on the bottom end. As far as my integrity, my honesty, that's never been questioned as far as I know in my life. I'm honest and truthful to a fault. I feel like I have a lot to offer this area, and I'd like to try to be able to become a counselor, to give my years as a person that's worked in the public and possibly help. Maybe we won't be a good fit, but I'm willing to try and do whatever I can. I've always had experience on committees, like from ball tournaments to broom ball to brownies to committees, all the committees in school as the kids were growing up, and I've always done the best to serve them in every way that I can. My short-term vision for the area is I'd like to really learn how this council works. I think we have a bit of a bad reputation in the area as a council that doesn't get along, and I'd like to do everything I can to help council in whatever way I can, adapt to their way, but at the same time maybe a new voice is needed here. I don't know. Long term, my biggest reason for regretting that we moved here was the internet. I have hated that, not being able, like having to have the hub and pay the extra money. Other than that, I really can't say anymore. What you see is what you get with me. I am what I am, and I'll do the best I can to serve the people here. And if there's anything that I can do to help council, I'd be more than happy to try. That's what all I can tell you.
Thank you. Any questions for the candidate?
I have a couple. I think you've already answered my first one, which was what would be some of the goals you would like to accomplish as a counselor. So the internet would be one, I would think. And was there anything else that you?
I know I haven't attended like all the different things. My granddaughter shows horses, so a lot of the holidays that are up here, I am with her showing horses.
Yeah.
But I always hear what a great township this is for serving the public, like in the picnics, in Canada Day, and all the things. The only thing I'd like to do is help further that.
Okay. And what do you feel would be one of our most important challenges facing this municipality?
The rail line.
Yeah.
It's got to be, we've got to come to some kind of conclusion there, and one that's going to suit the people, and trust in the knowledge that council has to make the right decision for the area.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else?
Just as a counselor and serving the public, do you feel that you could volunteer time and do
Oh yeah,
other stuff?
definitely. I'll tear myself away from carpentry to do whatever. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Should I just leave this here?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I'd ask Patrick
Thank you.
McGurran to come ahead, please.
I'll begin with answering your questions. Five that were presented in the package. So I'd like to be selected to experience the process council and the township operates with. My new face would demonstrate council's willingness to provide an open, truly representative, transparent, and hopefully a functional team. I'm looking forward to meeting and representing all ratepayers and residents of HCM. My experience, volunteer work, and friendly demeanor, and my ethical attitude make for what I believe to be solid credentials for the vacant councillor position. I am retired and therefore flexible for community business. As a councillor, this is question 2, as a councillor I'd respond and communicate in a timely manner, communicate with constituents to understand the issue fully and report back to council or other township contact for action or other considerations.
That's this one for some reason. Test. Yeah, if you could, I think it's too close to these, but Pat, if you wouldn't mind speaking into either holding or just, it's really hard to hear you.
What do you want me to do?
We'll hold it or you can sit, but it can't be too close to the mic.
Oh, I
That's
see.
what's causing the
Oh.
feedback. So if you could just move it to the end of the table or.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go back to 1.1 again. As a councillor, I'd respond and communicate in a timely manner, communicate with constituents to understand the issue fully and report back to council or other township contact for action or other consideration. Volunteering, attending community functions, showing up for council meetings as expected and pitching in where I physically can would satisfy the need to be seen. My personal work ethics do not allow for improper conduct, including conflict of interest, both apparent and real, inappropriate use of authority of my office. I believe due diligence, positive attitude, effective communications, and integrities describe my ambitions. When I meet with a ratepayer, stakeholder, or a member of the public, I help them understand a difficult decision has been made. I have researched the problem, educated myself in council's justification. I listen to the unhappy citizen's position and make sure I understand their issue. If the issue is relevant and requires an appeal to council, it will be my pleasure to reply in my 40+ years of experience in problem solving to guide me in getting a suitable resolution or perhaps a modification. If the issue isn't relative or is not fact-based, I describe the justification for the council's decision, do the best to help them accept the change, and offer to keep them informed if and when decision is challenged, changed, or modified. This is number 4. I look forward to representing council by performing my share of volunteer work. Community policing and recreation would be my 2 strong points. Number 5, Head Clara and Mariah has remarkably survived the ongoing issue of the Algonquin Trail. As I said when I had at the floor in one of the community discussions last fall, our community is growing. Without growth, we remain ignorant to life as it changes around us. When new ratepayers are introduced to our community, such as myself, I want to help learn how community members that have lived here for generations survive the challenges of growth in their time. Many times I've sat down with long-time members of our community and found they are only too happy to educate me on the part their families played in moving Head Clara Mariah where it is today. The underwater city, as I refer to it, is fascinating. Imagine how the justification for that was introduced to the affected families and businesses. Today, Stone Cliff heals slowly. I feel as most folks do, it's time for healing with the cold and hurt feelings and the unintentional difficulties we are going to deal with. More discussion is needed in its own time. In the future, the community will grow with retirees because of our natural beauty, affordability, and recreation opportunities abound. The Council of Tomorrow leads the way with a transparent, fair, undivided council that is a bona fide cross-section of members of the community. The good news for Clara Mariah is there is jobs and opportunities that will come this way. Professionals, military people, businessmen and women, and those that are fortunate enough to find our jewel of the county, will trickle in, and so will the monetary flow and knowledge base, one of our true assets. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. McGovern?
What do you think is one of the most important goals for our municipality right now?
Right now would be continuity, that everybody's on the same page, and this is for council, is to lead that way and show that despite what growth sometimes does by alienating people and by separating people, it's also a challenge that has to be met and has to be dealt with, and I would like to be part of that.
Okay. And can you list 2 qualities or strengths you feel a good counselor should possess?
Honesty and integrity.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything further?
Yeah. And number 4 there, you mentioned community policing. What's community policing about? What
was your question?
It was in the question.
It was in the question in number 4. It says community policing and recreation would be 2 of my strong points. What are you doing with community policing?
Pardon me?
What are you doing with community policing?
Oh, the question asked where I'd like to be involved in volunteering, and I mentioned policing and recreation would be 2 of my strong points.
Okay. And today's Stonecliff heals slowly. Is that from when we got moved from the river?
No.
That's over the trail issues, which you...
And other things. Okay.
That's it.
That's it? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for your time and
Thank you.
consideration.
Yeah, so that's next. So the next part, Crystal is going to draw the names. The council will vote in the order that she selects. She's going to pull them out, and I'm going to mark them down. No, that's okay. There's just the 3 comfortable notes on the table. So if you want to pull them out, I'll mark the order. Kathy is number 1. Bob is number 2, which leaves Calvin at number 3. So, next thing we are to do is to place your votes. So the vote is a public vote, 1 vote each. So, Councillor McKay?
It's tough. Nancy Rose.
Okay. Mayor Reed?
I'd have to go with Nancy Rose.
And Calvin?
Guess it don't matter.
It doesn't. You're right. So Nancy,
Nancy.
you are the successful candidate.
I would also like to say that it doesn't reflect anything on anybody that gave a
No, they were all
presentation.
very good.
We appreciate it. And we also remind you that the election is on. Anybody looking to sit on council is more than welcome to put in and run for the new council next year. And thank you for coming in.
Would like to come up, please, Nancy? And just
Yeah, thank you. My cords are all over the place. So next, we have to do the official swearing in. So if you can read through this, and then you're going to sign there, and I'm going to sign there at the end. So if you can say that out loud,
Out loud?
please.
Sure. I, Nancy Rose, having been appointed to the office of councillor in the municipality of the Corporation of the United Townships of Head, Clara, and Mariah, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corporate, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, RSO 1990. I will faithfully and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, or the reigning sovereign of the time. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing it is of the same force and effect as if under oath, made under oath.
Great. So have you sign that, please?
Okay.
And then you should have the resolution for that.
We'll carry on with the resolution right at the moment.
Yep. You can pass your bylaw, and then, yep.
Resolution number 1505-18002, moved by Councillor Chartrand, seconded by Councillor McKay. Council appointment bylaw, whereas bylaw 2018-12 being a bylaw to appoint a member of council for the Corporation of the United Townships of Head, Clara, Mariah for the remainder of this term has been presented to council with the name of the successful appointee is determined by an open vote inserted. Therefore be it resolved that bylaw 1812 be read a first time short and passed this 15th day of May 2018. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried.
Okay. Sign that. Have you sign that? Congratulations.
At this time, I'd ask Nancy Rose to take a seat at the table. Welcome aboard.
Sure.
Next order of business. Resolution 1505-18003. Minutes of the past meeting. Regular meeting Tuesday, April the 17th. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of Tuesday, April 17th, 2018 be accepted as presented. Any question? Anything with regards to the question on the minutes?
No.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Carried. We also have minutes for information found in our packages, also online. The Brewers Mayor's Forum of Eastern Ontario, March the 2nd. Library Board, January the 2nd, February the 8th, March the 1st, April the 6th. Rec Committee minutes, April the 23rd, 2018. Petitions and correspondence. Information only. You have your correspondence packages, if there's anything you'd like to discuss, bring it forward, or we'll accept it as the package sits. There's also the 3 late additions.
Mayor Reed, I'd just like to bring to council's attention is item number 9, I believe. It's the County of Renfrew. They sent us an invitation to take part in their Accessibility Advisory Committee. So I just wanted to see if there was an interest of anybody on council, and if not, I think it might be a good idea to send a staff person. The meetings are 3 to 4 times a year. It's not very often, but generally what happens under the Ontario Accessibility Act, populations or municipalities of a certain size are to have their own, but because we're so small, we don't have to, but we would certainly benefit from the things that we would learn there.
Okay, and I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Have we got a volunteer from council?
We don't know when they're,
I
It
don't
hasn't
know.
been set yet, no.
no.
So I could find out and then
Yeah.
send a memo to see if somebody wanted,
Yeah.
and if there was no availability on council, we could send a
Then we could
staff.
send a
Yeah,
staff member.
definitely, that would
Okay.
be a good idea.
Is there anything else in the
No, I didn't.
correspondence package that needs to be brought to the table?
Straightforward, just.
Well, there was this one on late 1, but I see it's been answered, so
Oh, yeah,
it was on the email.
the email.
It hasn't. So those comments there are comments for council's information,
Oh, our
and I'm
information.
waiting direction from council.
Oh, you didn't send
I
us
did
You
off?
not.
didn't send it? Oh, I thought that was an appropriate response.
Yeah, I think
Send it
it
off.
should
I
be
mean, 2
posted.
of
Yeah.
the guys at the meeting that I was at were members of a camp here that pay taxes, so I don't see where anything in the process was changed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'll respond based on those,
Sure.
what's on that sheet.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you.
And just a reminder with late 3 from the OPP,
No,
the gear up
The
for
gear up with
the
the
long weekend.
helmet issue and.
Yeah, and we'll see what goes.
Yeah, I know I lost one.
you know, mine.
Anything else with correspondence?
Yeah, I do. It's very, I read it twice.
And we'll move on to staff reports. Clerk's report, please.
I won't go over number 1, it's pretty self-explanatory, except for part E, we did hold another Smart Serve training and have 7 individuals, new individuals,
Oh, great.
who are interested to bartend for us at least once a year, so that, well, assuming they pass their exam. Number 2, I thought was very nice. We've had kudos for our newsletter. Thanks that they're very informative. And one day last week, we had a lady come in and she just came in to say thank you. We travel from Sudbury to Ottawa, I think. Ottawa on a regular basis, and she says it's just beautiful to come through your community and be able to stop at the boat launches and have lunch. That's all
nice.
she did. Came in, thank you, and out she went. Number
Oh,
3, Mayor Reed, you'll have a resolution there which shows, this was a direction of council from the last meeting to amend the minutes of the March meeting, so that's there, and it's just administrative. Number 4, I speak to a number of different grants that have been announced in the last little while in this ridiculous $1.9 million. I'm not sure yet what that is even going to be about. I'll have to look into the guidelines. It does have a date of August 28th, but the provincial elections could change
Oh,
everything.
yeah, exactly.
The second one, however, and there's a late resolution that was put on the table just before the meeting because we received this just today, and it's the New Horizons for Seniors program, and they have a number of different funding opportunities, up to $25,000, and they fund pretty much everything from furniture to programming to capital structures, depending. So Crystal has already passed through email, Facebook, a message if there's anything that seniors in the community would like to see, anything they think we can apply for this. So the resolution I've included is to commit up to $1,000 for expenses and up to $2,000 in kind. And what that normally is for use of the hall. So that's there for consideration. The municipal elections, a lot of information has been done, or a lot of work preparing information has been done since the last meeting. The nominations are open until July 27th at 2 p.m. I believe it is. There is going to be a candidate education session from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs. We're doing it in conjunction with Deep River and Laurentian Hills, and it will be at the Chalk River Fire Hall. I believe it's 6:30 or 7. I'll certainly confirm closer to the date, and we'll advertise in the usual places. We also have the ability to offer the AMO session for new council members, and again, depending on how many people are interested, we would simply project it here and everyone would sit and take it collectively. So depending on interest, we'll set that into the future. C, again, while I was going through policies and procedures and updating for this year, as we all know in the past, that we generally don't have a lot of interest in filling seats on council. Hopefully this year there'll be a proper election, and should there be, we've changed the process so that this building, this room will be opened up after votes are counted so that there could be a general announcement. It was a little weird the last time. We had to kick everybody out, and then, well, how do you find people to give the announcement? So we're trying to come up with a little different policy to be more inclusive this time. If required in advance, and by that I mean if we are having an election, there will be an advance poll. It will be Saturday, September 22nd, and again here from 11 till 5 p.m. I followed up with Jim Pine of Eorn, but I haven't heard anything back, so I will get back to him. They had presented at the County of Renfrew last month, and we've asked them to come here to speak towards increasing or improving broadband in our area as well. An invitation has been given to our OPP detachment to attend the June meeting. During the consultation stakeholder meetings, we've been made aware of quite a few problems with trespass and vandalism and things like that, specifically of camps, not houses as much. And we're just hoping that the OPP could come up and speak to council directly and answer some of our questions. They'll respond, and I'll certainly let you know if they're going to be here or not. As you know, Mel Teal has resigned her position in the office. She was just finding it was a little too much, more than she expected. So we have hired Stephanie Roach to take over her position, and Stephanie started, I guess, a week and a half ago, and so far she seems to be doing really well. Number 9, this is an advance notice of costs that are required to meet the conditions under the certificate of approval for the visit site. As you know, we've expanded the site. We've finally gotten the permission for that, the approvals to expand, but we're not going into that area yet. So Cambion seems to think that we're okay, that we won't need these wells for a couple of years until we start going in. But then even at that, they said you'd probably be better off putting them in sooner rather than later, as the costs are going to continue to go up. So they have given us an estimate of either $15,000 if single wells are required, or $30,000 if double wells are required, and they won't know that until they actually get on site. But
we've already set part of that money aside for that.
Yes, it's completely covered. I just want to make you aware that it's there. Number 10 is showing the listings of the different, all the meetings of council since December have been put on the internet under our YouTube channel, and here's the links. And number 11 is a request for attending a training session. This training, I believe you had the information in your packages, and it was for the training required to meet the Bill 68 requirements to changes to our policies. And I think that's it. Oh, except the other report.
You have two, right?
So are there any questions on that report? And then I'll just briefly go through the one from the Integrity Commissioner. So this report, I do have at the top a recommendation and a resolution, but it's not a formal resolution yet. This was just things that I pulled from the session, and I'm asking for council's, is there anything I missed? And if there's something else here that we need to change, I'll bring this back to next meeting. But these were the things that most stuck out from Chris's presentation. The library board being asked to adopt a code of conduct, the risk management policy that's being recommended, the practice of recording the closed meetings, starting to use the notice of motion process, and consultation with a new legal firm. I haven't actually spoken with them yet, but it was something that Chris mentioned we might want to talk to him. And unless there's a specific question, I'm not going to go through the content.
No, that's fine, and I believe the paperwork that's following up with it speaks for itself.
And this is the workshop that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really good. We're gonna send two people? No, just one?
We don't have enough bodies to send.
True. It's too bad.
With the changes, we have to be prepared.
Yes.
And 68 changes a lot of things.
So there should be a couple of resolutions there based on my clerk's report.
Yeah. And the first one would be correction to the minutes of March the 20th, 2018. Whereas the clause of resolution 2003-1805-005 states that there was one conflict of interest infraction based on a loose definition of the interpretation of the municipal code of conduct policy, whereas has been questioning of that wording. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the United, and I'll back up here because I didn't say moved by Councillor Shaw, seconded by Councillor McKay. Okay. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the United Townships of Head Clara Mariah does hereby amend the clause by adding the words used specifically in the report from Mr. Fleming that a conflict of interest under the code with the respect to the closed session of September 5th, 2017, October 17th, 2017, be added in place of the words one conflict and interest infraction. All those in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Now, the one that you added, that wasn't,
There should be two then. So the next one is the one about the training, and then the other one will have 4-A. That's the one I added. They both should be there.
let's move around. Request for educational
Yes.
approval?
So that should be number 5, but there should be the 4A that I added.
I didn't see the plan.
Okay, 4A you added as well for the New Horizons?
That's the New Horizons.
Okay. Want to make sure they're in order.
Yep.
Resolution 1505 18004A. New Horizons for Seniors. Whereas federal government's New Horizons for Seniors funding program provides significant opportunity for involvement of seniors within our community in a wide variety of programming, planning, participating, volunteering, and mentorship. And whereas council feels, I think I jumped ahead again, moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Chartraw, excuse me. Whereas council feels it important to contribute to encourage continued programming to involve seniors in all aspects of the community who wish to make a difference in their lives and the lives of others in our community. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the United Townships of Head Clara Mariah does hereby authorize the clerk and mayor to endorse a funding application through this program with the application deadline of June the 15th, 2018. And further, that the council commits up to $1,000 cash and $2,000 in-kind contributions to support this application and seniors programming in Head Clara Mariah. Any question? Seeing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 1505-18005. Moved by Councillor Chartraw, seconded by Councillor McKay. Request for education approval form. Staff and council training and continued education will allow the municipality to be up to date on legislation and best municipal practices. And whereas the upcoming training will provide council with the most up-to-date legislated policy and process documents related to Bill 68 changes and within normal budgeted limits of staff training. Therefore, it be resolved that Council of the United Township of Head Clara Mariah does hereby approve the request training by the clerk as an attached document. Any question? More training the better, because 68 changes quite a bit. All in favor?
Yes.
Motion carried. Treasurer's report, none. My report, you've seen the Rural Mayor's Forum report. Last month I attended County Council again, and also my duties on committee. I did attend on Sunday the Mother's Day breakfast. I would like to thank you, everybody. I think it was a success. I'd also like to thank anybody that came to it. I think it was a worthwhile endeavor. And the admin assistance report, please.
So since my last report to council, I have been working on just the general day-to-day duties of my regular duties and Noella's. I won't go through everything listed. If you guys have a question about any of them, I'd be more than happy to answer. I've also been spending some time working with Peter Harrington, the auditor, to have some year-end adjusting entries entered so that we can move forward and hopefully get the budget started. We had some little issues with the internet and printing, so I spent some time working on having that fixed. Excuse me. I had to provide stats to Cambium for them to do their annual reporting for the waste disposal sites. I worked on organizing and advertising for the kids' cooking class with Mel, and I also helped Mel with her final report for the Seniors Community Grant Program, which was submitted, and we did receive our new contract, so I just need a signature and a read. Also worked on the ball tournament planning and advertising, report for the roads and staff salary for the county, and excuse me, I wrote my final exam for the municipal administration program.
Thank you. I know we don't have a paper copy, but we did receive
We can
online.
We did, that's Crystal's just noticing that we didn't pass
Okay.
those out. And I'd also just like to mention that there's other documents in there, the Bill 68 training, things like that, that Chris Ray forwarded, and I'm just providing it to you for information right now.
Yeah.
It'll come back later as recommendations later.
Okay, thank you.
That's the one I get back after.
Yep, the yellow?
Yeah.
Sure.
We need the yellow box.
Yes.
Resolution 1505-18006, moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Chartrand. Check log. Be it resolved that the check log from January 1st, 2018 to May the 14th, 2018, totaling $23,312.39 be accepted as presented. Any questions? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Carried.
Here's one more.
Resolution 1505-18007, moved by Councillor Chartrand, seconded by Councillor McKay. Income statement. Be it resolved that the income statement for January the 1st, 2018, May the 14th, 2018 be accepted as presented. Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Carried.
Oh, we haven't done it yet. Oh, no, you're right.
Resolution 1505-18008, moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Chartrand. Amendment Procedure Bylaw 2015-07. Whereas proper notice has been provided under Municipal Notice Bylaw to amend the Municipal Procedure Bylaw, and whereas amendments were presented to the Council on April the 17th meeting were received first reading and approval. Therefore, be it resolved that Council of the United Townships of Head Clara Mariah does hereby amend the Municipal Bylaw Procedure 2015-07 as Resolution 2 in Report 2017-04-18-1001.
I didn't include the report. I can just read it briefly. My apologies.
It's okay.
This was to amend this section. Remember, we hadn't updated since we changed from Thursday to, or Fridays to Tuesday.
That's
So it
correct.
was to change that word. It was to, the pecuniary interest to use the form. So even though council was already using the form, it wasn't in our procedure bylaw. It was just housekeeping things.
Okay.
The other one was, minor changes to the delegation process. The other was the timing of the delegation, and again, the petitions, it was something that was a resolution, so now it's just put into the bylaw. So it was passed, it's just that normally if we do a bylaw change, we have 2 readings. So this is technically a bylaw change, but it's only an addition, it's not a full bylaw, so
That's correct.
it's just
Okay.
that for the second time.
Any other questions concerning that? Hearing none. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 1505-18-009, moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Chartrand. Bylaw 2018-10, authorizing municipal funding agreement for Main Street revitalization program. Whereas bylaw 2018-10 being a bylaw to authorize the municipality to enter into an agreement in order to participate in Ontario Main Street revitalization initiative. Therefore be it resolved that bylaw 2018-10 be read a first time short and passed this 15th day of May 2018. Any questions? All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Unfinished business. Resolution 1505-18/010, moved by Councillor Chartrand, seconded by Councillor McKay. Subject report 1505-18-1101, resolution of support, Ernie Hardiman, MPP, municipal right to approval landfill developments. Do I need to read the whole resolution out? I think it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, and it was moved from last meeting.
Yeah. So is there any other further questions to do with that? All in favor?
Yes.
We have a report, the Algonquin Trail update from the stakeholders meetings, and that'll be carried on till the next meeting. New business. 1505-18-011. Report 1505/18/1201, a bylaw enforcement policy whereas increased public dialogue has brought to light many actions which are contrary to existing municipal bylaws which require attention and enforcement. And whereas there is currently not a policy and procedure for staff to follow to enforce existing municipal bylaws, where therefore be it resolved that the Council of the United Townships of Head Clara Mariah does hereby adopt the attached policy as presented. Question.
So for some of this, I guess Bob would be looking after Labra. Building inspector would have to, is that,
Be a bylaw?
At this point, yes, most of the bylaw enforcement that we do is under the Building Code Act.
yeah,
But as I said, through the consultation meetings, we've been hearing about some other things that probably need some attention in the future. And right now, we don't have a proper procedure. So it's a combination between that and the fact that I just finished the municipal law program, and that really brought to attention the fact that we don't have a proper procedure to follow. So what will happen with this, it's just to provide consistency. So the bylaws already exist and they'll have whatever penalties or whatever is in them, but this will show any and everybody the process that needs to be followed through, and that way if we ever do end up before a JP or a judge, we've got policy to say this is how we got here. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Basically, this just enforces the policies that are already in place.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just procedure. It doesn't add any additional
No.
authorities or anything. It's simply procedure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any further question? We'll call the vote. All in favor?
yes.
Okay.
They meet at 10.
Resolution 1505, 18012. 012, excuse me, 1202. Appoint council member to library board. Whereas under the Public Libraries Act 1990, Section 9-1, a public library board shall be composed of at least 5 members appointed by the municipal council, one of which is a council member. Therefore be it resolved that, do we have a volunteer to sit on the,
I believe their meetings are at like 10 in the morning, right? Okay.
Usually during the day.
During the day.
Being the only retired person here.
be it resolved that
Perfect.
Councilor
Perfect.
Nancy Rose
You guys knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, we were kind of looking at
I
you.
was looking for the mother's name on there, so I'd get out of it.
is hereby appointed to council member of library for Head Clara Mariah Municipal Public Library Board, effective immediately, and to continue until the end of this term for council when a new board will be appointed. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Resolution 1505, 18013. Support of the municipality of East Parish wolf population. Increased population of wolves and coyotes in this area. North of Algonquin Park are increasing sightings and human wolf encounters in residential areas as well as influencing populations of their prey. And whereas the province eliminated the wolf coyote hunt in certain municipalities surrounding Algonquin Park and others in 2016, therefore be it resolved that the Council of the United Townships of Head Clara Mariah does hereby support the resolution of the municipality of East Paris and ask that the province reconsider its current practice to better protect human and prey populations at risk from increased wolf coyote populations. And further, that the province, through the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry, rescind the ban on harvest of these animals, placing adequate consideration on the public safety during the debate. And further, that copies of this resolution be forwarded to the province and to the municipality of East Paris and our local MPP, John Yakubowski, and affected municipalities for support. Question? Or comment?
Well, I definitely think if you spend any time in the bush at all, you'll notice from way back when I was young hunting, you never saw wolves or coyotes, and now it's like a daily occurrence when I'm on my stand, a wolf or a coyote or groups of them. So I definitely think that there needs to be some way of balancing, because it's really going to, affect the moose and deer populations, and so I have to agree with it.
Well, it has. I've seen 3 moose
Oh, yeah.
carcasses this winter.
It's a daily occurrence.
But I mean, just because we didn't see them before and we're seeing them now, is that a reason to open the?
Well, it shows that when I was growing up, we were told you would never see a wolf. But when you start to see an animal that's usually so shy and reclusive, it's because there's an overpopulation of them.
Good point.
It's an issue.
Even locally, and I know that from property owners that say they have their own walking trails on their property, and the amount of coyote or wolf scat on that trail is telling you that they're there.
In our area, the population really hasn't changed that much, but sightings of, if I wanted to see a wolf when I was a kid, I had to go to the river and look at the Quebec side and watch them run down.
Hey,
Yeah.
you want
Now
to see a lynx, all you do is look out my front
Now
window.
I can walk outside.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't believe there's a bounty on them anymore anyways.
No, there isn't. No.
Because we got tired of paying for dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Resolution 1505-18014. Moved by Councillor Chartres, seconded by Councillor McKay. Pregnancy and paternal leave for council members. For council members?
It's legislated. We have to.
It's not me.
Anybody at this council gonna have any kids?
No.
I was hoping to help, but
Once you have a teenager, you're done.
Whereas changes to the Municipal Act 2001 under Bill 68 require a new policy concerning the pregnancy and parental leave rights of members of municipal council. Therefore, it be resolved that the Council of United Townships of Head Clara Mariah does hereby adopt the policy known as P&G 2018-001 as presented. Any questions? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Future council members are
Yep.
covered.
Exactly. You never know.
And our closed session is deferred as well. I didn't get the documents that we were waiting on.
Deferred. So we're right down to number 15 then.
Now, do we have an income in closed session?
No.
No, that's what I thought. Questions and answers? Again, I'd like to welcome the newest member of council to the diocese.
Thank you, Mayor Reed.
I would also like to remember to everybody that there is a Father's Day breakfast coming. I'm sure Councillor McKay was going to address that anyway. The more the merrier.
Yeah, Sunday, September 17th here at the hall. Looking
June
June,
17th.
sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm looking forward to fall. Yeah, so June 17th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I'm looking for volunteers again. You'll all be getting an email from me.
And don't forget the second annual Father's Day Fishing Derby the day
Fishing
before.
derby day before. And yeah, I still need some stuff for the poster.
I got you.
Okay, thank you.
And I would ask the ball diamond will be put back together again shortly.
Yeah, that's May
Tomorrow night.
26th, is it not the ball tournament?
Yes.
May
This weekend.
26th?
If a hand's needed, let me know. I'm at
That's not
county
this
during the day,
weekend,
but
it's
I'll be.
next
It'll be
weekend.
done tomorrow night,
I can help.
along with the swings.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Or the next morning if it rains tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not gonna rain tomorrow.
Moving along then, confirmation. Resolution 1505-1815. Moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Chartra. Be it resolved that bylaw 2018-11, being a bylaw to confirm proceedings of council of the United Townships of Head, Clara, Mariah, and its meetings held Tuesday, May the 15th, 2018, be read a first time short and passed. All in favor?
Yes. I just got it, so I haven't read it. I didn't realize I had a mailbox.
So you know there was a place like that in town.
Yeah, they hold that, oh, sorry.
Resolution 1505-18016, moved by Councillor Chartra, seconded by Councillor McKay. Adjournment. Be it resolved that this meeting be adjourned at 2014.
Nobody has held watch but you.
2014, to meet again on Tuesday, June 12th, 2018 at 1900 hours. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, they hold that.